Hello and welcome to the 5th round of the American Touring Car Championship, as supported by Race Department and sponsored by Pit Stop Furniture and cockpitfm.net. We are live here from Sebring. I'm Ryan Cullen, and alongside me is Bjorn de Haas.
Good evening, people. Good morning, people.
You can see in front of you is the points table this season so far. This is factoring in the 2 drop scores that will be relevant throughout the entire season. So Keith Barrick is still on top of those 2 drop scores, but look at the gaps, just 13 points covering the top 3. However, Barrick has the luxury of higher drop scores at the moment, so he has a bit more margin for error later in the championship. Sorry. Jesper's dropping a 13th and a DNF for the moment, so not much margin for error for him. 4th place we can see is Yuri Braham. Had a poor round last race, but hopefully he can get back on track this round at Sebring. In 5th place is the DHR teammate of Barrick, of Sol Boucher. In 6th is Miguel Neto, who won out at the last race at Watkins Glen. 7th place is the 3rd DHR car of Vincent Khan. They are dominating the team championship so far, many points ahead of the Portugal racing team, who only have 2 drivers as well. In 8th place is Tyler Skurlock and his teammate Eric Nelson just in behind. They've both all had solid results so far this season. Mattis Clean in the top 10, and Reese Gardner has shot up these standings after his strong showing at Watkins Glen. Darius Radersky is still there, 12th place, just 2 points separating 11th to 13th, with Daniel Wood there in 13th. Hugo Gonçalves, Reggie Blaine, and then Robert Alves and Diogo Lopez all on level points, 354. With Emil Sarbog doing well. He's come up from server 2 in 18th place. Danny Asbury got a strong run again at the Watkins Glen, of course. He's in 19th, and Stefan Vernet still hanging on in there in the top 20. Bjorn, we're in for a cracker of a race today at the very, very fast Sebring in California. Well, how do you see this race going so far?
I hope really good. I mean, if we can get the same race as last week, or like, was it 2 weeks ago? I mean, we are in the game for a packed race here.
Yeah, it was excellent racing again, of course, last week. Remember the top 14 on a 2-minute track, separated by less than half a second. That was incredible. Well, as we can see at the moment, Francisco Villa, who we're on board with, running through the track and out onto the back straight, out through the last corners onto the back straight at the moment. He's fastest with 12.787. Keith has said that if he sees a low 2-minute 12, he will retire from sim racing. So I think he's in danger of having to eat those words, and hopefully we'll never see him again, Bjorn.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if that 2.12 is going to drop, I think he has to buy us cake. And yeah.
Okay, cake sounds good. You can buy me a KFC or something.
Should be nice then.
But again, we can see that it's pretty much a BMW track at the moment, with Danny Asbury there in 2nd. Of course, he was strong at Watkins Glen. The 2 BMWs are on top by a long way, as you can see, from 6/10 of a second from the Peugeot of Barrick and the Volvo of Miguel Neto. This is just pre-practice, of course. There's 5 minutes to go until the qualifying. So it's all ready to change. For instance, Emil Sarbog there is putting in a strong showing. Hopefully Darius Radersky can get his championship back on track after some poor showing since the first round. Currently the defending champion, we can see there, is in 10th. VR is improving on his time. As you can see, he's purple in the first sector. Who's your favourite for the victory here today, Bjorn?
To be honest, I think it's going to be really tight, but I would say Keith Barrick is going to win at least one race. Okay.
You don't think those BMWs are going to win in both races?
I don't know. I mean, race 2 is going to be totally different than race 1 with your reverse grid, etc. So I think we're going to see Jesper Tolberg. We obviously have to make up ground, and Keith Barrick. I think both of them are going to win a race.
I did stick my neck out, and I did say that Tolberg would win race 1 and Braham would win race 2 in the prediction game we have on the forum. You can check that out on the American Touring Car Championship section. So I've set myself up for a fall there, really. So Tarborg, please win, because otherwise I lose my credibility as a expert commentator.
Oh, definitely. But I think Jesper is going to win at least one, and the other one is going to be for Keith. But you know, it's going to be really tight, really strong again. It's going to be competitive all the way.
Hopefully. As we look further down the grid, see we've got all 25 drivers in here. 4 drivers, so we're missing 1 at the moment. Hopefully that driver will be able to join pretty soon. 3 minutes to go until start of qualifying, which, as we remind you, is Super Bowl qualifying, so just 1 hot lap. Done, so it all comes down to that holding their nerve, and it's got to the point where you really cannot just go for a safe lap, as we saw at the last race. With just a couple of tenths down, Barry Quasi found himself back in 8th position on the grid. Dan Asbury is on a purple sector now as well, showing excellent pace, and I think has to be considered as a race winning contender. What do you think, Bjorn?
Yeah, I mean, Dad really showed off some good results last week at the Glen, and again today he's there. I mean,
hopefully we can grab a word with Mr. Paul Wood. Or one of his Terra Australis racing teammates. But Dan Asbury is still on the purple sector, so he's looking to go faster once again. These guys are on low fuel runs at the moment. Ah, there we are. Abdul Ahmad have made it into the game, thankfully. So a full quota of 25 drivers. Quite sure what the track temperature is. I can't quite get the show.
what do you think of the
Find out
track,
for you.
Ryan?
Very tricky track. I've raced here many times. It's very fast, very flowing, very technical at the same time. You really have to keep your speed up. Of course, there's that very tricky braking zone at the chicane. Of course, the famous turn, Sunset Bend.
Yeah, indeed. Some really fast corners. I mean, the last corner is really fast. The first corner can be fast.
Absolutely, yeah. Pretty much every corner is fast. I mean, there's only 1 second gear corner. The rest are all at least 3rd gear. Any at 4th or 5th. What a great name for a corner, Sunset Bend. I don't know who thought of that, but that's an excellent name for a corner.
Definitely, yeah. Well, nowadays most of the modern tracks have numbers instead of names in it.
Yeah, or sponsorships like Holden Corner or Coca-Cola Corner, something like that.
Yeah, whoever pays the most, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So we got on here though. We got Sunset Bend, Le Mans, Fangio, Big Bend. See, it's excellent. Tower Corner.
Yeah, within a few years we might be having a Ryan Kellen corner or a Björn de Haas corner.
Hopefully that's because of our fame rather than the fact that we crashed all that at the time.
Indeed, my friend.
Well, we never crash, do we? Never crash.
A crash? What's that? I mean,
Yeah,
I usually always finish. I mean, well, it's at the back, but at least it's a finish.
So we are getting ready for qualifying, which will be going to qualifying pretty soon. Dan Asbury didn't manage to carry his speed through to a faster lap, so VR has ended the session on top of the field. Tarborg there in third place. Here we are now in qualifying, Bjorn. I'm all excited.
I'm really excited again. I can't wait to start again. I mean, that one lap qualify is, in my opinion, better than like half an hour. I mean, it comes once again down to that one single lap.
It does, and it's obviously exciting for the viewers as well. And it makes my job easier because all the session is shorter, so I don't have to talk for so long. Track temperature is 27 degrees at the moment, so not too hot and not too cold. So that's not too bad. Place too much strain on either of the tyres.
Yeah. Is it going to be Reece Gardner again? After last week amazing pole position.
Yes, yeah. It is a power circuit, and the Volvo does excel on power circuits, so wouldn't count him out at all. I think we're going to be looking at one of the BMWs getting up there. I think VR is going to make it. Not much of a prediction, I know, but I think VR will take pole position out. What do you reckon, Bjorn?
If I look to the practice results and overall, yeah, I would say yes, but then again, it's one lap.
Exactly, it's only one lap. It can happen, of course. Very easy to make a mistake, especially that BMW, which is quite recalcitrant at the best of times.
Yeah. I'm also surprised to miss out on one driver. Michael van Scheppingen seems to be not in the race.
Oh, he's not in the server.
He's not in the
Driver
server.
we're missing then. Shame. Where's he at? God, 20. We do have 25 drivers in the server though. Maybe he's absent for this round.
That's a big possibility, yeah.
Or maybe he's in server 2 for this round. No, he's not in server 2 for this round. He's just not here. Hopefully you can, Mr. Detective De Haas can find out about that.
Definitely, I will be back later with news on that, about Michael van Scheppingen.
That'd be good. We'll follow Saul Boucher for his lap. We'll go on board with him while Bjorn's doing his detective work. Riding alongside the left hand side B pillar. Starts his lap, crosses the line. This bumpy first turn, really got to get it as close to the inside barrier as you possibly dare, look like that, and then not run out on the grass just on the exit, coming up there. Very easy to do so. Do that. Gets it straight, braking for this corner. You flick it in, very quite an open corner, but tightens a little bit on the exit. To the next corner, get it nice and neat in and get the power on as early as possible for the run down this back straight. Goes around Big Ben, he's going towards Hairpin. More of a chicane nowadays. That's why it's called a hairpin as well. Is it in? To one side, flick it to the other side. Get a nice exit. Done so. Down Fangio towards Cunningham and Collier. Nicely in, just get it. Very simple corner really, that one, compared to the rest of the corners on this track. Just keep the car nice and tight in. A nice run towards Tower. Curve just a little bit there, might have slowed him up. Flies now towards Bishop. A little bit here is Bishop. And the next corner is just called Turn 15. There's no actual corner names for them. But this is Turn 15 here, just this chicane. And then Turn 16 is Le Mans, which leads onto the back straight. Try not to hit the big curve on the inside there. Run out wide, use all the track possible. Get a good exit down towards Set Bend along all the straights. doing so. It's in nicely. It's very, very bumpy here. Not as bumpy as in real life, but it's bumpy enough. And keeps it very, very tight indeed around that corner. Not running wide at all. Perhaps a little bit too tight for fast pace, but he's going to come across the line. It's going to be 12, it's going to be 13.432. So that's a decent lap there from Saul Boucher. Puts him on top of the chart so far. Eric Nelson there is in second place. Find one more of the top contenders who are on a good lap. Here is Jesper Tolberg coming towards the end of his lap into Sunset Bend. Under the bridge. See what he can do. He takes a much more classical line through there than Saul Boucher did. Quite wide. He's crossed the line at 2:13.494, so just behind the DHR driver.
We also see that Francisco Villar is going to start his out lap.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that lap, of course, as well. Dan Asbury is about to start his hot lap. Shall we stay on board with him? Or yes, we'll stay on board with Dan Asbury. Start his hot lap. He's coming down Ulm straight now. Final turn, making sure he just gets a nice exit. There's no need for heroics. Your out lap. A nice exit. Line now in his one called Ultimate BMW 320. Well, he's gone into the 12s yet, so we're expecting BMWs to go into the 12s. Keeps it nice and tight there, hugs the inside, slides around, hits the curb on the outside, just give it a little nudge. That's not a problem at all. Yuri Braham has popped up in third position. He's looking strong here once again after the disappointing run at Watkins Glen. Of course, we've still got Barry. Got the BMWs, still got NATO to go as well, I think. Bogdan has popped up into third position, bumping Yuri down to fourth by 5,000ths of a second, Bjorn.
Small gap, really small.
Yep. Dansbury is almost half a second up on Saul Boucher in that first sector alone. The power and the low drag of the BMW really counting for a lot here. Be very, very strong at Rattlesnake Point as well, of course, which is another very fast track. And Darius Widerski has shown the pace of that BMW with a 12.922. He's gone into provisional pole position. Any slip-ups from Dan or Francisco Villar, and Darius will be right in there. Nice to see Darius back on form once again, Bjorn.
Yeah, definitely good quality. Whatever's going to happen, he's there in the top 5, top 6 anyway with his performance.
Definitely. But it is still half up on the trackdouble.com racing BMW of Swiderski. A little bit wide there, I don't know if that will cost him just a little bit of traction onto the back straight, maybe half a tenth.
Can be an expensive one, but
didn't look like he hit the apex very much either, so it could be a bit tight. Here down into fourth gear for this final bend. Now he's gone in very, very deep there, a little bit untidy, but he got it sorted on the exit very, very nicely indeed. Beautiful exit line, look at that, Bjorn.
Great, I mean 9, 10 seconds, 2 more to go.
11, 12, it's going to be a 12, 12.6, excellent last sector there from Dansbury. I think the last corner was fantastic. It was a high risk, but it was fantastic. Now let's go on board with Francisco Villar, see what he can do. He is on his halfway through his hot lap. The familiar now familiar racing colours of Portugal racing team, red and green.
Abdul Ahmed taking 19th place. Start.
VR is just under a tenth down on Dan Asbury's time so far, and Dan Asbury, I think, did an excellent final sector, so it could be very close here, but VR does not run wide. curb that time. Dan Asbury did just drop a wheel slightly on the grass. So if VR gets the corner right, that should be okay for him.
This one is going to be tight, really tight.
So as well, VR comes around the final corner, gets it turned in, very similar line to Dan Asbury actually. So that's seemed like a decent line to me, but it's of course quite difficult to time from this TV shot. Here we go. Coming across the line, he's going to do a 12.487. He does take pole position. A fantastic lap there from VR. Beats even the second sector time of Dan Asbury. That's fantastic there. So BMW 1, 2, 3 at the top of the table. So at the moment, Reggie Blaine is on a lap at the moment. We'll see what he can do. Then we'll go to Keith Barrett. He's on the opening stages of his lap. So we have BMW 1, 2 and 3, Peugeot in 4th, Honda in 5th, 6th and 7th, and a Volvo in 8th there from Miguel. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that lap. Bjorn?
Ryan, sorry to disturb you, but we're just seeing Keith Barrick starting his lap and is green at this moment with his time.
There's Reggie Blaine, he's gone 19th. A little bit disappointed with that, I think, Bjorn, don't you think? Stronger run than that.
Oh yeah.
So Keith is on a personal best at least with the green.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do. Second sector. Now heading towards Bishop, Mons. Through there. Rocking as he presses the brakes. Nice line out of the corner. Didn't quite see his split there, Bjorn, did you?
Yeah, I did. He lost about 3/10. The first split he was green, and the second split he was like up 3/10. So he lost a few tenths.
Okay, so he heads around Sunset Bend. Go on board with him, see what he can do. We are now riding on his front bumper. Nice classic line out of Sunset Bend. Some very different lines through there. I'm quite curious to see that. Interesting lines. And Barrett crossed the line with 13.426. He's 4th. He's the best of the non-BMWs, so he will be pleased with that actually, I think. Bjorn?
Oh yeah.
Look at that, almost a second behind the pole position of Francisco Villar.
Surprises me, I mean, that the BMWs are that quick here.
Yeah, it's an excellent track for them. They got that, of course, the hairpin where they put their power down very, very easily onto the straight, and of course their low drag as well with the 3 very long straights, so of course it's helping a lot here. I did race against the BMWs at, where was it at? It was at Road 1 International, which of course, as you know, is a very, very fast track indeed, and they were just far and away the fastest cars on the track. We just could not keep up with them.
Yeah,
last Friday.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how quick you are. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the car that has got the edge, you know, especially here, the BMW.
Yeah, the BMWs have a big edge and a straight line. So, we have VR on pole position. So, an excellent lap there from him, with Dan Asbury in 2nd place, Darius Widerski in 3rd, Keith Barrick, the best of the non-BMWs, in 4th, and his DHR teammate there in 5th is Saul Boucher. In 6th place is the Honda of Tarbog, followed by the Honda of Bogdan. 8th place again is the Honda of Gary Braham. Decent showing there from him. Miguel Nato there is in 9th. He'll not be too happy with that. 10th place is Eric Nelson with 11th Emil Sarbog. 12th is Reese Gardner. So he's not managed to recreate his excellent run of last week at pole position. 13th place is defending champion Vincent Kahn, who has obviously been struggling a little bit here for this session. 14th place is Skurlock. 15th Matthias Klein for Bonacord Ultimate. 16th Robert Isles for Terra Australis Racing. 17th Hugo Gonçalves for Team ART Auto Racing Team, and Diogo Lopez's teammate there in 18th. Paul Wood 19th, Reggie Blaine 20th, Danny Wood 21st, Ahmed in 22nd, Werner 23rd, and Nathio for Team Nato in 24th, and in 25th position is Pedro Amaral, as you can see here, for Auto Racing Team. That guy Bjorn de Haas, who didn't set a time. Why not, Bjorn? Why didn't you set a time?
I'm way too slow, man. I'm way too slow.
So we've got a minute left here in qualifying, but everyone has finished their laps. Congratulations to VR. Think of the pace there, Bjorn.
Amazing pace. I mean, Villa's got everything to win today. But I still stick with Keith Barrick and Jesper Tolberg.
Yeah, I stick with them as well because that's what I said. So I've got to stick with them now. Oh well.
It makes me a lousy commentator if I switch. I mean, I have to stick with two drivers.
Of course, VR is just 7 points behind in the corrected championship. Without the drop scored, he's 22 points behind, so he's not that far behind either there. So he has plenty to win in this session. If he can win the first race, of course, he'll be back in 8th position on the standing start. But of course, with the BMW and the standing start, he's going to be up into 5th position at least, probably by the first corner in race 2. So I think he's going to be looking for a double win, don't you think, Bjorn?
Anything is possible, honestly. I mean, I can't say who's going to win. I think we just have to wait and see.
He's got to be hoping for one, surely, with the pace he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Talbot was the only person who made who did a double this season. That was at KW Super Speedway.
Well, it's hard to do a double. I mean, because in that second race you always have that reverse grid, so you always have to make up ground.
Of course, with the BMW, of course, it's a lot easier getting those cheap places off the start grid. And there you can see the top 10 set out on the rows. We've got the 3 of BMWs. Did you get any news on Michael van Scheppingen?
No, not yet. Working on it. It seems that he's not driving. Nobody can contact him, so we just have to wait and see until he contacts us.
Shame.
It is, because I was looking forward to see him, and yeah, there's only one teammate for me in this race, you know.
That's why Abdul Ahmed, despite being 27th position in the championship, is in Server 1. Kane Lasky, of course, is absent as well. He's been absent since the first 2 rounds. He will race again this season, which is a shame because he was a fast driver.
Yeah.
Strong position in the championship at the time.
What do you think of Abdul Ahmed? I think he's a great driver. He really deserves to be in Server 1.
He does deserve to be in Server 1, yeah, excellent. He's very consistent. Been a bit unlucky in a couple of races so far.
Did a few Formula 1 events against him, and proper fast driver, really.
Yeah. Not sure if my stats are correct, but I think that's the first pole position of the season for Francisco Villa. Stats tell me there's been 6 pole positions so far, but we're only on round 5, so that can't be right. The results. So at Road America we saw Barrick and VR taking the 2 wins. Barrick taking pole position there. But of course it's curious, isn't it, Bjorn, because the Road America, of course, is a very fast track as well. And yet it didn't seem the BMWs had much of an advantage there. Yet here, which is a fast track also, they do have a big advantage. So it's curious to see that the track to track, even though you would see them as quite similar, that would be the case.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think both tracks are really similar. But I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm just as surprised as you are with the BMWs being that quick.
Well, I expected them to be quick. I didn't expect them to be so quick, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, at Nürburgring we had the Honda of Torborg on pole position. Boucher, VR taking the wins.
Yeah. But I think it's the car to go for this year, the BMW.
Seems that way.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Point is going to be BMW. After that we're going to have Laguna Seca. Obviously that's a totally different track.
Absolutely, I think that would be a Honda track or a Peugeot track, I think.
Yeah, the touring car races I usually do there are with the Hondas, yeah.
W Super Speedway, we have Braham on pole position, with Torborg taking both wins. And then last week we had Watkins Glen, and Rich Gardner took a surprise pole position with NATO and VR, I think, taking the wins, didn't they? Yeah, NATO and VR taking the wins. Exciting stuff. Hopefully we can see some of that today. We've got a minute to go before the start of the race. Well, about 3 minutes to go to the start of the race. Reminder that it is a rolling start at the start. First lap, so don't get too excited when you see the cars on the grid. Start accelerating once they're out of Sunset Bend. It'll be interesting seeing them go all piling into the first corner at high speed. Highest position this season so far for Emil Sorborg for Water Blue Racing in his Peugeot 407. Got 12th there at Watkins Glen. 11th this time around, Sebring, as you can see. The best position so far this season for Bogdan as well in the qualifying. We'll be pleased with that. In the Honda, which has not been super competitive here. Gerlach will be a little bit disappointed with his 14th position back on the grid. Strong this season so far. He's in 8th position in the championship. Top 8. See Clean Isles. And we are now into the race session.
Happen in turn 1, you think, Brian? Are we going to see a few good moves?
Well, they're going to be paddling in there at quite a speed as they're on a rolling start, so it should be interesting. Wait for the drivers to make their way onto the grid. What do you reckon, Bron? Do you think we'll see fireworks in that first turn, especially with the BMWs at the front as well, which are relatively easy to spin?
Well, I don't think we're going to see fireworks in the first corner. I think we're going to see fireworks the whole race. Once again, you know.
I see. That's very well propaganda there, Bjorn. I'm proud of you.
I mean, it is the ATCC. I mean, it's the Premiership of online racing, you know.
Definitely the closest touring car league on the net so far that I've ever seen. Highest level of standard. Cars are forming up on the grid now, as you can see.
Always exciting moments for a driver, these ones. I mean, that last minute before the start, you know, your heartbeat races, thinking about what are you going to do before the start. Am I going left? Am I going right? You never know what's happening in the start, you know.
Of course, yeah, and panicking about your making sure you got enough fuel and double checking and rechecking.
You seem to have a little tap from Andre Bogdan, who tapped Saul Boucher, who had some problems getting off the grid.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think they formed up inside each other. From what I was saying, and that's created a couple of problems, but it's obviously been sorted out pretty quickly.
Yeah, although I can see a bit of damage from the Saul Boucher's car at the back. Just if you see the ATCC logo, it's a bit bruised up, but I don't know if it's going to affect him.
Well, let's have a look at that. Two Saul Boucher was in 5th place in the grid. We can just see the little dent in the rear corner there. I don't think that will affect him too much. Hopefully not, at least anyway. Dreams down. First straight. It doesn't have a name actually, it's just called kind of Big Bend straight. Straight afterwards it's not called, but the bend onto it's called Big Bend. Here is hairpin. All the curves here if you can when you're under racing. Because of the tight lines, whereas it goes right and left and right again. You see some very good side-by-side action at this track. Collier and Tower that we're coming up to now, Bjorn.
Yeah. Enough room to overtake, enough room to drive 2 lines. I mean, this track has it.
It is a classic track. Field streams around. It is an excellent sight seeing this field stream around. All the different colours. Orange of the DHR, the red and the green of the Portugal racing team. Red Bull of Swiderski, purple of the Snaptic cars. I do like watching these cars flow by.
Yeah. Tensionless racing.
Yeah, the driver's heartbeats will be rising pretty soon. Ready for a start. We're wondering about what side to go. Start line. They'll be planning, of course. Of course, it usually gets thrown out the window, those best laid plans. Kind of have to act on instinct at some point. Which is your favourite skin, Bjorn?
My favourite, I like the DHR cars. I really like that especially Vincent one with the yellow windows. I think it's really unique. It's nice. But at the end of the day, I think I like them all. Everything's got something special. The Portugal green and red. My teammate's Yuri's car is there, of course. I mean, every single car's got something, you know.
Absolutely. And here we are now coming up to the final corner. Drivers getting themselves ready. Themselves pumped up. Watching the cars around them. Watching who makes a good start. Watching who makes a bad start. Concentrating on their own starts as well. VR with his lights on, I see. Heads towards the start-finish line. Underway very shortly indeed. See, and we are away on the first lap of the round 5, race 1 from Sebring, ATCC. They're streaming now down towards the first corner, 4 wide at the back there, as you can see. They're flying now into the first corner. Around they go, and VR has held the lead pretty well there from Dan Asbury. Just in behind is Swiderski and Barrick. Boucher in 5th. Graham has come up from 8th in the grid to 6th. Dropping back has gone Bogdan. He's gone from 7th to 9th. Back of the grid is Robert Isles after that. VR leads the way down towards hairpin for the first time. Phil streaming in behind him, as you can see. Flow out now as well. Cars streaming their way through and bumping over the curbs there, as you can see, with the Volvo there of Rhys Gardner. He's in a battle here with Vincent Khan. This is the battle for 13th place. There he is, and in the middle of them is Diogo Lopez. That's very tight indeed. And Rhys Gardner's lost out. He's back into 15th now as a result of that. Back up further through the field. There is Jesper Tarbog. He's in 6th. Where he qualified, and that's where he still is.
Villa was moving away. Really, 1 one lap already, and I mean he's got like a second already.
Oh, and Keith had gone past Darius Swiderski. Barrick had gone through on the inside into Mons. Swiderski made a small mistake where Swiderski's just in behind him now, of course. Can Swiderski drag him back down the straight? So we look back from Keith Barrett's car. Darius Swiderski coming up inside. He's going to have a go at Barrick into Sunset Bend. What a beautiful name, I love that, I love saying that. Sunset Bend. And through they got almost touching, look at that. And Swiderski, he just tapping the back of Keith Barrick there. Keith's going to have his work cut out to keep that BMW behind him now, isn't he, Bjorn?
Oh yeah. Well, about Sunset Bend, that's something we don't have in England or in Holland. I mean, even the name Sunset.
We have beautiful sunsets in England.
Yeah, but there is no sun like in
There is no sun, that's true.
It's always raining.
And Swiderski has retaken the position there on Barrick, as you can see. And through he goes, and Boucher and Tarborg are having a battle royale. Boucher had to defend the inside, and there is Braham just in behind as well. Barrick now is faced with the task of trying to get back in front of Swiderski, but look at the pace of the BMW on the straights. I think Barrick is hoping for a fourth position in this race one, maybe capitalising on a mistake from Swiderski, or one of the BMWs making a mistake in the pits. If he comes fourth, I think he'll be happy with that. Swiderski using all the track as he should. Here is this battle royale. Jesper Tarborg's got past Boucher, and in the battle there as well is Yuri Braham. Looking back now from Jesper Tarborg at the battle behind, and Boucher is on the inside of Yuri defending, and Yuri's going out on the outside. Oh, they touched onto the curb, Bjorn, look at that.
Yeah, well, I'm watching it. Close fight. I think.
And Nate up inside. Nate 3 wide. Look at that. He's tapped the back of Boucher. Boucher sliding off. He's held it. Where is it? What's happened to him? Where's he dropped back to? Nobody. Everyone's managed to avoid him. What position is he in?
14 now.
14th position.
Yeah.
Just ahead of his teammate Vincent Kahn. Just behind his teammate. Sorry, Vincent Kahn now.
Behind. Two positions behind him.
Behind, yeah. Sorry. That's so unfortunate. But Miguel Nato involved in contact once again, trying to make it 3 wide into that corner. There was no chance of it making 3 wide really. And Boucher is definitely off his rhythm now, as Reggie Blaine is coming up the inside of him.
During that fight,
Matthew Quinn.
Keith took his third position back during that fight we just saw. 2 fights were going on, and Keith has regained third position.
Look at this fight here with Bogdan and Nato. These two never back down. VR sets the fastest lap, surprisingly. Keith is back up into 3rd position. Ahead there of Swiderski. In 5th is Tarborg. 6th is Yuri Braham. He started in 8th, so he'll be pleased with the 2 positions he's made up. Oh, and Bogdan gets it out of shape there into the first turn. And through on the inside is coming Eric Nelson. With the battle of 8th position, of course, that all-important 8th position. And Nelson runs Bogdan onto the outside there, and through they go. And in behind is Emil Sarborg, and Bogdan has gone very, very wide indeed, and he's come back onto the track. Has he touched the back of Emil Sarborg? No, he hasn't, but he's lost positions to Sarborg and Skurlock. Skurlock challenging the outside now of Sarborg. Sarborg on the inside, down to the hairpin. As we look forward from Bogdan, looking at Skurlock and Sarborg and Nelson, challenging for that 8th position. It's a fierce battle, 4-way battle here. But the car not far behind either. He'll be looking to move up, of course. Otherwise he's going to kiss goodbye to his championship hopes. But excellent action here in the first lap, Bjorn.
Great action, overtakings, little taps, some bigger taps, it's all there.
Here is Barrett, the championship leader, showing championship pace ahead of one of the BMWs, and Tarborg is doing his best to try and follow that lead as well. The contenders for the championship really are Barrick, Tarborg and VR. Braham currently an outsider in the championship. Of course, Tarborg cannot afford to get bad results. He has no margin for error. There is a very unfortunate disconnection in the last race, and he's 13th position after his error in the pits. Nürburgring. Here he is challenging at the back of Swiderski's BMW. further back we can see challenge going on between What to Do Racing and Sarbog. And look at the back of Bogdan's car. He's got some heavy damage on there, and he's into the pits. Into the pits he comes, and into the pits as well has from Tyler Skurlock. No, not Tyler Skurlock, sorry. Who's coming to the pits? Bogdan is coming to the pits, and so is Nelson, sorry.
Eric and Bogdan, yeah, both cars.
And Boucher as well is into the pits. He was running in, of course he was running in 14th position, wasn't he? His altercation there with Miguel Nato.
Yeah, he lost a few positions there in that fight.
He did indeed. Through the field.
Dan Asbury
there we are. Go ahead.
Dan Asbury is gaining on Francisco Villar. Villar just moved away in the first few laps a little bit, but Dan Asbury is slowly getting him back.
He is keeping an eye on us, and just as you were saying that, Bjorn, Torborg went past on Swiderski, so Torborg and Barrick are showing the pace they need to show, being very aggressive, making sure they make no mistakes and trying to take advantage of any BMWs that falter. They need to do so if they want to keep up with VR in this race, in this championship. They don't want to lose too many points to him. Behind we can see that Braham and Nato are catching up to Swiderski as well. Oh, and Braham gets an inch of tyre on the grass, and it sends him almost straight across the track into the opposite barrier. He's managed to get it up. Oh. To settle down at the front now, we can see there it is Dan Asbury. He is pursuing the back of Francisco Villar. He has shown himself so difficult to beat. He gets out front, he just seems to be metronomic, just keeping that position. For a race so far that he's led, he's managed to keep the win. Any big battles?
No battles yet now.
Okay. We'll focus on Saalborg and Khan, and into the pits comes Saalborg. Lap 6. Lap race, of course. It's quite a long race. We are halfway through it now. Braham has pitted as well. So has Barrick, so we'll see where Barrick comes out in relation to Braham, if we can. Back and view people who have pitted. There is Braham. Oh, Braham's missed his pit box. He had to reverse. Oh, what's he doing? That would cost him much time. Time he could not afford to lose to the BMWs. Or to Barrick and Torborg ahead of him. Going again. Look at the gap now Barrick has over over Braham.
It's probably 3 seconds, 4 seconds, if not more.
Yeah, exactly. Timing says it's around about 4.5, so the error there from Braham. He'll cost himself 1-2 seconds, and of course, very, very difficult to make that time on the track. Doesn't sound like much, but when we're dealing with thousandths and hundredths of a second,
it's always hard to overshoot your pit box. I mean, did it ever happen to you, Ryan, in a race or in a league race?
I do it all the time. I'm rubbish. Stalled it as well. Stalling it. The worst thing is overshooting the pits and stalling. That's the worst thing to do. You
definitely.
Cue panic. Quick, ignition starter. Crap.
Yeah. I usually hit my pit crew. But,
Well, I'm not quite as evil as you, Bjorn. I try to take into account my my garage crew. I'm very grateful to them. I don't try to run them over. See a little bit of damage on the back of Yuri Braham's car as well. So there's a few cars with damage in those rear bumpers. Usually cars that are around the area of Miguel Nato, it must be said.
Yeah, definitely. But Reese is there with damage. Andre Bogdan is there with damage. Name them. They all have a little bit of damage.
Francisco Villar sets the fastest lap on lap 6. That's an excellent time on lap 6. Into the pits comes Miguel Nato. Just ahead of him there is Swiderski. Pits already was Torborg. He had a big gap, didn't he, on Swiderski. I wonder if he dropped back into some battles at some point. Tarborg gets going. Interested to see where he pops out in relation to Keith Barrick. There it is. We've got NATO, and in front of him there, of course, is going Tarborg. Where is Keith Barrick going to be in relation to Tarborg? Tarborg was behind him before his pit stops. Khan leaves the pits as well.
Keith Barrick is on the straight now.
There he is, coming down the straight. What can he do? The camera shot is not very good. There we are. There is Tarborg, and he is in behind Barrick still. So Barrick holds the position over Tarborg. It's like a status quo as well. But Tarborg will have 1 lap fresher tyres, so that might count for a little bit later on in the race. And Asprey is still ahead of these two. Came into the pits at the same time as Tarborg. There he is. Places Contado and Nato just up ahead there, but he's not pitted. So I think he's actually the only driver not to pit so far, so every driver up by 1 in the top. Expect VR to be pitting this time around. There he is. Green at the front of the field so far. Not a commanding lead, but a big enough lead, Bjorn.
Definitely. I mean, Villar is really showing the quality of as a driver he is today.
Yeah, he does like leading from the front, and he does it very well indeed. Goes around Sunset Bend. He goes slightly wide there as a result of me saying that he was a driver. Mockers on him, and he brakes hard now for the pit lane. Into the pits he comes. So we'll follow Dan Asbury around, see where he comes out. Quite a gap there on Keith Barrick, as you can see. Got a gap of 3 seconds on Barrick. Well, Tarborg is just 1.2 back from Barrick himself. I think Tarborg is sniffing for a position on Barrick. Dursky is 3 seconds back from these guys, so he lost out big time in that pit stop shuffle. There is Braham and NATO. Braham is wanting to get past with Dursky as well, which he needs to do to keep up with his championship, keep his championship hopes alive.
You know, Dan Asbury's going to take the lead. Trust me, Ryan. He's going to take the lead.
You think so? Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Comes now down.
Yeah.
Where is VR? VR is... There is VR. Exit the pits there. No.
Close.
I think he's got a bigger gap than he had before actually as well. He had a 1.2 second lead before the pit stops, then set fastest lap while Dan Asbury was in the pit, so he should have a decent lead. Indeed he does. 1.5 seconds it looks like to me. Indeed, 1.7 seconds. Asbury is see him really trying there as he came out onto Big Bend. Really keeping his car on the edge, and there is Tudersky and Braham. This is the big battle at the moment in the top 8. Any battles further down the pack at all, Bjorn? 20th place is Saul Boucher, so he's dropped back, way back once again. Oh, and Braham just gives the back of Tudersky a little nudge. Tudersky gets out of shape. Braham backs off the line. Get back online. Crucial for the championship. Braham can earn some more points here. Lose so many too. Barrick and Telborg as well, of course, and VR, of course. 1.5 second lead over Asprey. Barrick is 4.5 seconds back from the leader. Telborg is 0.9 back from Barrick. I think that will come to a big battle in the final few laps. Telborg is often gets stronger towards the end of the race. Relentless. Have you been impressed with Telborg this season, Bjorn?
Yeah, he had some, of course. I mean, he's a good driver, a really good driver. But he had some bad luck. I mean, remember the disconnection he had last race, you know.
Yep.
But generally, I'm really impressed with this one. Really fast driver.
Very clean as well, not involved in much contact, and very fair racer. I watched him race Barrick at Road 1 International last week, one of the club races at Race Department, and they were very, very close together the entire race, and no contact at all was made. And As I said, Barrick and Tarbog are now locked in battle. Barrick must have made a mistake somewhere because gap has come down from 0.9 to 0.1. Tarbog has a little look into the first turn. But this should be excellent battle between top two front-wheel drive runners in the championship. To have great respect for each other. Hundreds of races together now. The last 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Down around Big Bend, down towards the hairpin. Tarbog's looking for the inside. He's just making Keith nervous, I think. I don't think he was serious about going through there. He looks back.
Can you make Keith nervous? Is it possible to make a driver as Keith nervous?
I think you can. I think you can apply pressure to him. Of course, he's very cool under pressure. Won the Season 1 championship without doing so. He wouldn't be leading, of course, this championship without doing so. You just distract them a little bit, just under brake, and just you can always take half a second out of them. Slightest error on the exit, and of course you've got decent speed. You can come straight through again, and Tarbog is taking much better lines than Barrick. Barrick is just slightly missing the apexes everywhere. Got Tarbog right over the curb there. That was very aggressive indeed, and he's got an excellent run. I think no, not quite. Just hits the inside curb. Barrick gets good exit as well. Tarbog is menacing in behind, picking up the slipstream here in his Synaptic Honda Accord. Barrick just goes to the inside, just ever so slightly. Look at that, just taking the middle of the road. Tarbog is not having any of it. He looks up the inside. Oh, it's a big slide on. Holds the slide, keeps the speed up as well. Well done there, Tarbog. Barrick holds position still. We are now on to lap 9. Lap 10, sorry. VR, fastest lap of the race so far, 2:13.522. Brayhammer's got past Widerski while we've been watching this fight, and looked like he was going to. All important 8th position is Eric Nelson. In 9th is Vincent Kahn. He needs to get up into that 8th position to keep his diminishing championship hopes alive. Now over halfway through the season, Tarbog is right under the boot lid there of Barrick. We look back from Barrick's roof. Barrick's taking the inside. Tarbog's gone to the outside. There's no option really. Oh, under brake, and he just taps the back of Barrick back. Barrick just holds it as he goes wide, and of course Tarbog decided not to take advantage. He flashes his lights at Barrick, apologising for that little tap.
Fair action. I mean, he gave him a little tap, but stick behind him, and I mean, great sportsmanship.
Absolutely, that's the way it should be. Driving these from these two, but I think Tarbog's got 2.5 laps to make a move. I think he's going to eventually. I don't think Barrick can hold him off. Tarbog has slightly better tyres, as we were saying, just 1 lap, so I think that's making just that 1/10 of a second a lap difference beyond.
Definitely. He's taking different lines, but then again, Keith is defending, you know, so he has to drive different lines.
Of course. Of course, you can get caught too much up in defending and not actually get a decent line. It just keeps you vulnerable rather than protecting. It just keeps you vulnerable. And here is Tarbog once again right up in behind at maximum speed, 6th gear. They're going into Sunset Bend. This is the fastest part of the track. Back off once again, but oh, Barrett's gone slightly wide.
Yeah.
Barrett's gone slightly wide. Up the inside, he's going to go. Tarbog takes 3rd position. This is a crucial battle for the championship, and Tarbog asserts his authority in this race. Excellent move there. Just waited and waited and waited and waited for that tiny mistake that we were saying should come at some point. And Barrett made it. And he is coming back. Absolutely.
Coming back. He is there. He is there. Look.
He flies up the inside. Look at that.
Whoa.
Oh, and Barrett goes slightly off as well again, and Tarbog's up the inside. And Tarbog has got the line into the next corner now. Excellent driving there from Tarbog. Just let Barrick do all the mistakes. Didn't force anything at all. That's superb driver there from Tarbog, don't you think, Bjorn?
Yeah, I think that last corner. I mean, Jesper taking it, and then once again Keith lining up for the first corner. I mean, it's switching positions here. Here is Keith again.
Yeah, on the outside, Tarbog's making sure that he holds the inside. Oh, Tarbog goes deep in, gets a poor exit, but Barrick didn't hit the apex either. Look at Barrick, he's right up the inside, up the boot lid of Tarbog. Let's go on board with Tarbog. Looking back at the DHR Simcraft driver. It's all over, he's just wiggling around in the back of him. Much more aggressive driving there, we can see there from Barrick. He's much more assertive in behind. Tarbog's a little bit more passive, waits for the mistake. Barrick will try to harry it into a mistake. No doubt about that. And Tarbog is running slightly wide now. Of course, it's always easier to follow a car than to lead, isn't it, Bjorn?
Definitely. You always have that car in front of you, something you can focus on. Especially in a fight, it's really good to have a car in front of you.
Exactly, yeah. Well, you don't want the car to be in front of you, but of course it is easier to follow. And so that's the case now, whereas whoever is following us is looking quicker, as we can see. Tarbog seems to have got his rhythm back. He got an excellent exit there onto Ulman Straight towards Sunset Bend.
Then again, Keith is going to try it at least one more time.
So yeah, we're going to go into the last lap pretty soon. VR is starting his last lap. Here he is, just about to go across the finish line.
Keith passed him again in the last corner, but Jesper Tolberg once again gets his position back. So Keith and Jesper switching positions almost every corner.
Here we are. Tarbog's now holding the inside. He's determined not to let Barrick have the place on this final lap. VR started his final lap. He has a 3.8 second lead over Dan Asbury, as you can see. Eric Nelson still holds 8th from Vincent Kahn. 3 tenths back though, those guys. We'll check on that battle if we can, but of course this is the big battle at the moment for third position. Fantastic racing it is between Tarbog and Barrick. Again, they are nose to tail coming down out of Big Bend into Hairpin. Back at Barrick now from the roof of Tarbog's car. Barrick is all over the back of Tarbog. Jesper is under serious pressure. Jesper just holding the inside of the road, making sure there's no space really for Barrick to go up the inside without Barrick just has a little look at the inside. Not quite room enough. That might give Tarbog the break that he needs for the rest of the lap, you know. Yeah, and lots of understeer there from back. You see his wheels turning, nothing was happening. He managed to get into the corner though.
Get down to the last corner, Ryan.
Yeah, I think so. All depends on this exit here from Le Mans. Here he is, and that's the better exit. Barrick took a tighter line in. Tarbog took the classic line. I'm not sure if he got the better exit though, and they are very, very close indeed. VR is going to take victory. Here he is in the final corner. He's going to come across the line. Well done to Francisco VR. He got out, he qualified on pole, he dominated the race, 4.7 second lead over Dan Asbury. Dan Asbury comes in second place. Congratulations to VR. But in third position, of course, we are focusing on the battle here between... And Barrick's gone past Tarbog. What's happened there? Tarbog's dropped way back.
Yeah, but he's going to give his position back because...
oh, I see. There must have been contact in that final corner.
There was.
So that's sporting there from Barrick.
Keith took the inside, basically pushed Jesper Tolberg to the outside, hit each other slightly, and Keith, as a real sportsman, could see his position back.
That's fortunate there. Oh, great sportsmanship there from... where's Vincent Kahn gone? He was battling with... where's he gone? Bjorn? He's way back. Yeah. Vincent Kahn, where is he at? He's back at the back of the grid. 25? He was fighting... Yeah. Is he a DNF or is he keeping going? Where's he at?
I think at the back.
I think he's DNF'd.
Something happened there. Let me check.
Yeah, he is DNF'd. He was fighting with the Peugeot of Eric Nelson for that 8th position. I was just going to check back on the battle that Eric came across the line in 8th, and then Vincent kind of disappeared. So I think something had happened in that final lap, in those final 2 sectors perhaps. But anyway, drama there at the end of the race. Barrick hands the podium position back to Tarborg, but VR takes the win. Dominant win there from Dan Asbury, 2nd place. 3rd is Jesper Tarborg, 4th Barrick, 5th Yuri Braham, 6th there Swiderski. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that, considering the fact that he had 3rd position on the grid. Nato moved up to 7th. He might have wanted to move up a little bit further, but it's difficult with those 3 BMWs ahead of him. Seems to be a little bit inconsistent. 8th place there we can see is Eric Nelson. He'll take pole position for the 2nd race. And then Bogdan, Salborg, Klein and Scullop rounded up out the top 12. All the field was very, very close indeed, without major battles further back, but there was not much gaps between them all. Ahmed finished a strong 16th, Werner 15th. Boucher managed to work his way up to 18th. He was back in 20th at one point, so he'd had further problems after his contact with NATO, which sent him back to 14th. So very unfortunate there for Saul. Reese Gardner there back in 22nd. So after the highs of Watkins Glen, Bjorn, Reese Gardner comes back down to earth with a bump.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think Watkins Glen was good for our live viewers. Watkins Glen was good for our racers. But this race is so much better. There's so much more fights going on, so much more action. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, there wasn't quite as many battles, I didn't think. There weren't quite as many multi-car battles, but there was certainly plenty to keep us occupied. No doubt about that. We are into race 2 now. There is just a minute, 90 seconds to go before the start of the race.
And also
see
great
what happens here.
sportsmanship from Keith Barrick. I mean, Keith Barrick getting onto Tolberg in that last corner, hitting each other and giving back positions. I mean, both drivers, fair drivers, great sportsmanship.
Absolutely. That's the way to be. There we can see this will be our pole sitter, Eric Nelson. He is the driving for Synaptic Racing. He's the boss of Synaptic Racing as well, and also the co-organiser of the ATCC with Keith Barrick, and a great show they put on as well, as you can see from the racing here.
Are we going to see you in any leagues this year, Ryan? Or
indeed you will. I will be racing in the race department Touring Car Championship.
Very good, very good.
So hopefully I can do okay in there. I'll be racing the Seat Toledo, so cross to that one. Of course, I'm running my own league at the moment and commentating on the World Touring Masters. We had our first race at Spa, 40 car grid. That was very exciting indeed.
Yeah, great cars. I think the WTM cars.
Absolutely, and Keith Barrick actually joined me for that one. So
Really
we
nice.
are getting set for racing here. Eric Nelson, there he is. Grid. Nice if I got a decent camera angle. Can't get a decent camera at the moment. We'll start on board with. Now away we go, and we are on board with Uruguay. I'm a great start there from Swiderski, as to be expected. Goes straight into the lead, and Braham is following him through. Field streams down toward the first corner. Braham has the inside on Nelson. There he is, and Braham has a great start there from 5th on the grid.
Finally.
4th on the grid, sorry. And up the inside goes NATO on Nelson. He clips the back of him again. NATO just cannot keep himself out of trouble. Dan Asbury had an excellent start, but where is VR? VR has not had a great start at all. VR is back in 11th position. He's got a bit of contact in that first corner. But he's fighting back. Just in behind, as you can see, Reggie Blaine. Keith Barrick is 3 wide. Oh, that was close racing there, down towards the hairpin. And it's Reggie Blaine who loses out. And there's big contact back there in the pack. Who is that? Somebody spun out. That's one of the Auto Racing Team cars. I think it's Pedro Amaral. Can jet back through the field. There's so many drivers I can't get back there. There he is recovering, and it is Hugo Gonçalves, sorry, his other teammate. So, drama already in the at the start of this race. But up front, it is Swiderski who leads from Braham, and Braham's up the inside, and Braham is looking to lead this race from the start. He's looking to take advantage of the poor start from Barrick and Via.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you.
And they were side by side. Look at the big contact. Oh, they both managed to hold on to it. That was incredible, Bjorn. I thought it was going to be a huge impact.
Yeah, indeed, man. I mean,
and Nelson gets in the back of Swiderski as well and runs wide. Oh, it's all happening here. Calm myself down here and get having a heart attack.
I mean, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock here in the morning here in Europe, and I mean.
So, as we settle down a little bit, in third place is Eric Nelson, fourth place is Dan Asbury. I think Dan Asbury is challenging the back of. Oh, sideways! Look at that! Sorborg with a massive slide on, and through he goes. And Sorborg takes third position. Look at that, fantastic racing, side by side down the straight they come. Looking back now from Eric Nelson, looking back at the battle between NATO and Asbury. Just in behind there is Torborg and Bogdan. VR is in 10th, Barrick is in 9th. Oh, Dan's hit the inside wall, he's going right out wide, he's on the grass, NATO's going to come across. And Nelson's going to look inside of Sorborg as well. Down the inside comes NATO on Asbury. Through he goes, and through goes Torborg and Bogdan as well, and Asbury's getting shuffled back, and so is Barrick. He's gone through, and now in behind Asbury is race 1 winner VR. In behind him is Pedro Amaral. Jogan Lopez, sorry, I get all confused between these three SEAT drivers.
Yeah, same here. But what's happening, man, in that first round? Unbelievable action.
That was amazing action there between Braham and Swiderski. Contact at 120 miles an hour. That was crazy stuff. I thought it was going to be a huge accident.
Yeah, thank God it's not there. I mean, thank God they're still driving.
Absolutely. I mean, we do like to see a crash now and then, but that would have been a humongous one. We've taken out a couple of cars, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
and at that speed, I think they might have come back across the track and taken out other drivers. So it was fortunate that they kept going. But we have now Bogdan in front of Nelson. So Bogdan is on the charge. Nelson has been quite ragged in these opening few corners. He's started very, very well. He's passed a couple of guys, but then also got past himself. So I think Sorborg got back up the inside of Nelson, and that perhaps balked Nelson, and Bogdan took advantage. So Nelson is in 6th. Behind him is his great friend and co-organiser Keith Barrick. Barrick has got ahead of Torborg, so that's an important battle there. Oh, off the track has gone. Dan Asbury. Is that Dan Asbury? I think it is. There he is. He's gone off the track. Not sure what happened there. Just flashed through the camera.
Yeah, yes.
And where is he rejoined? He's rejoined back in 18th. So once again, 20. Dan finds 20th now. Dear. And 21st. There goes Saul Boucher. 22nd. Look at oh dear indeed. It's not funny at all for Dan Asbury, but that was just awful the way everyone just drove past him on the straight. I'm not sure what happened. He just flew past, and there goes 23rd position. Hugo Gonçalves goes through again. Dan Asbury needs to get his head down, just keep himself focused. He's got the speed. He needs to get himself back in the rhythm. There's Stefan Vernon 24th, and 25th position, as we can see, is Hugo Gonçalves after his. No, that's Pedro Amaral. Sorry. So Hugo Gonçalves has made his way back up through the field, and Pedro Amaral's dropped his way back through again. So deep breath. Here we are.
Yuri Brahm lost first position.
He has lost first position. What's happened there? Swiderski's gone straight back through.
Indeed.
Swiderski is determined to make up for his relatively poor showing in race 1. He dropped back from 3rd to 6th. Been a big improvement over his recent runs. It's nice to see him back up the front of the grid again. In 3rd place is an excellent Emil Sorborg, being pursued hotly by NATO. But the big battle is for 5th position with Nelson, Barrick, Torborg, Diab and Lopez, all in a big line of cars here, sorry. We're looking at Nelson. He's being pursued by Barrick. In behind is Torborg, in behind is VR. So we've got the 3 championship protagonists line astern here, with the other championship protagonist, Yuri Braham, up in 2nd position. He is obviously hoping that he can stay up near the front of the field, and these guys stay in behind Nelson. He'll be willing Nelson on. Willer, Sorborg and NATO. Braham is right in behind Dursky, and up the inside goes VR on Torborg, has he made it stick? No, he hasn't. He's backed out of it at the last moment. Again, VR is another very, very fair driver indeed. As it looks a little bit ragged back in the pack this time around. Not the serene lines that we were seeing from the drivers in the first race, Bjorn.
Totally different race. People tend to fight more with each other. Totally different race.
Very hectic indeed. Very hectic indeed. And we are on to lap 3. Will we see any pit stops on lap 4? I think lap 4 is when the pit window will open. Who will pit early? Of course, like you said at the last event, Bjorn, if you're in a battle, it's pay to pit early, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's a small mistake I made myself during a race a few days ago. I was in a fight and refused to make a pit stop, and that basically cost me like 2 positions.
Yeah, but it's so much fun being in a fight, isn't it?
Definitely.
Oh, and wide, wide has gone Nelson, up the inside, he's going to go Barrick. He flashes lights, I think that means he's flashing key to go by, and Nelson is now back into 7th, and he's ahead of his teammate Torborg. Will he let Torborg through as well? I think he might do. And Torborg's going around the outside, what a move! Look at that, on the outside, coming out onto Big Bend. There is Torborg in behind, and Nelson is now defending for VR, and VR's gone straight past him. Up the inside. Oh, VR's got it out of shape.
He lost it.
He's got it out of shape. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. Did he have any contact with Nelson? Going around the outside of him.
Just rare contact, but I think he just braked too late, turned in, and just lost it.
Oh, Danny Wood touched the side of VR then, and that popped him out into the grass. Now VR is just ahead of Abdul Ahmed. That's in 13th position now from VR. He cannot afford to be back this far. That's an expensive mistake there, and sideways goes Abdul Ahmed, and up the inside he's going to take advantage of Matthias Klein. He's going to come under siege now from several drivers, but he managed to hold that slide well. Braham is now 1 second back from Swiderski. Swiderski has got his head down in this race. He's determined to make up for his poor showing in the last few rounds, as I was saying. And Barrick is now in 6th position. In behind is Jesper Torborg in 7th. 8th is Eric Nelson. He's found himself shuffled back after that bit of action. 5th there is Bogdan. He's pursuing the back of NATO. He's pursuing the back of Sauber. So, who will pit this for a time round? Will we see anybody pit round, do you think?
I don't know who's going to pit first, or I'm going to pit. I mean, if I was driving in Yuri Braham's car right now, I would have pit now.
You will have pit now? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bogdan's pitting. So Bogdan is pitted. I think he's the only guy. Yeah, he's the only guy who's pitted. And in the background there is Nelson pitting as well. So Bogdan and Nelson are pitting, and there is, I think, Skurlock and VR's pitting as well, and Ahmed. And we can see that's Daniel Wood as well pitting. So we'll go back up to the front of the field, and we'll check out some of the battles. Here is battle between Vincent Khan. Well, there was a battle between someone and Vincent Khan, I'm sure there was. I've seen things. There is Barrick and Torborg. They are hard at battle once again, inseparable it seems in this championship so far. Braham was caught back up to the R-Class drivers, and Braham was caught up to the back of Swiderski as well. Just 0.6 second behind them, and NATO is applying the pressure to Emil Sauborg. This is Sauborg's best showing of the season so far. Even starting the top 8 and up in the reverse grid, I don't think, did he, Bjorn? So he's done very well to get up from at the back of the field.
Really good showing. But for example, the front runners, if you see Yuri Braham, if he can make an early pit stop, he will go out with fresher tyres and maybe then gain an advantage on Darius. I think
perhaps him. Absolutely, yeah. So we're watching NATO. In behind there we can see is Barrick and Torborg still battling together. Look at that. Line astern, nose to tail. See where VR comes out after all the pit stops have shuffled round. We'll see that in a couple of laps time. So this time around we'll see a few more pit stops it seems. Braham will pit this time around, or Swiderski will go in ahead of him. Swiderski generally likes to pit quite late. Try and see who pits here. Who's going to go into the pits? Braham pitting, Sudersky is pitting, and Braham's pitting as well. So, who else is pitting? There is Solborg and NATO. Through goes Tolborg, he's not pitting, but Barrick is. Clean is pitting. Yogo Lopez is pitting. Calm pit as well. Sure, no, Vincent Calm's not pitting. Reggie Blaine is pitting, and so is Paul Wood. So, Tolborg assumes the lead. See where Bogdan comes out in relation to the rest of these drivers. Bogdan and Nelson were involved in a big battle between these drivers. Go back through the field and check on those drivers as well. There is Nelson. Lights on. Barrick, he has rejoined and he's still in behind Emil Sarborg, of course, and he's still... Is that ahead of him? That's NATO has got ahead of Sarborg. So in the pit stops, NATO has jumped Sarborg, and it's, I think Barrick is closer to the drivers there as Nelson just runs a little bit wide. And is that Bogdan just ahead of these guys? It is. Bogdan is has now moved up to 3rd position overall. Look at that. So Sarborg has dropped back from 3rd back down to 5th position, and all the field is very close together again now. Look at that, because Barrick is right behind these front two, these two drivers, NATO and Sarborg. NATO gained 1 and lost 1. Sarborg lost 2, and Bogdan got 2. Bogdan could be on for his first podium of the season. This is by far his strongest showing this season so far, as Braham is about 1.5 seconds behind Swiderski, so he's not had a great pit stop once again, Braham, because he was right in behind before that pit stop.
Yeah, when they went in together, because I was following the pit stops, they went in together, and Swiderski just was a little bit faster. I would have said just by seconds, or maybe 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, perhaps Braham took it a little bit conservatively under brakes this time, instead of not missing his pit stop.
Yeah,
time around. Barrick had to go there out. Sorry, go ahead.
Then again, I mean, this race is going to continue for the finish, and I mean, I think Yuri Brahm still is going to get his chance to attack Darius here and there.
It'll be interesting to see whether this battle that Barrick is involved with Sarborg has slowed him up anything so that Tarborg can take advantage. What kind of lap time is Tarborg doing during this? See? Quite tell me it. But there is Barrick, he's going up the inside now of Sarborg. That's side by side as Sarborg is squeezed right against the wall. The two Peugeot drivers go on board now. We're looking back at Barrick, he's got his lights on, his me means business. And where is Tarborg? Where is Tarborg? There is Tarborg! Emerging from the pits, Barrick goes up the inside of Sarborg. Can Tarborg pass Solberg, sorry. All these Solborgs and he looks like he hit the back of Barrick there. Barrick just keeps it on the track. It looks like there's a bit of a bump. Now Tarborg is in behind Solberg. There you go. Tarborg will be looking to get past, and Solberg is looking to get past Barrick. This is a great battle once again. And up the inside goes Solberg. Aggressive move, excellent move actually. I think that's a very assertive, aggressive move. And Tarborg is trying to take advantage. He's now up the inside of Barrick, but he tucks in behind. There is the Honda driver just ahead, just behind the Peugeot DHR driver. Right alongside the left-hand side B pillar of Jesper Tarborg, looking at the back of Barrick once again. He must be sick of the sight of him at Sebring so far this event. Third position still is Yuri Braham. Swiderski is still leading the way from Yuri Braham, 1.4 seconds ahead. Bogdan is in 3rd, NATO is 4th. See, the battle here is for 5th position between Solborg, Barrick and Tarborg. Solberg is all over the curbs there, and he's missed the apex and exit there, but so has Barrick, and now Tarborg looks like he has a slightly better run onto Ullman Straight, up the inside towards Sunset Bend. So VR is back in 12th still. He needs to move up through the field. Of course, that will be his worst result of the season so far, so it will be a drop score, so it's not disastrous for him. It's not ideal either. Inside is going to go. Barrick, he's made an aggressive move once again. Oh, it hit the inside. Barrick and Tolborg has hit the inside of Solberg. Can Solberg get back going again? I think Tolborg's going to let him go back through. He is. That's allowed Barrick a 1 second break. So unfortunate there, but Solberg did very well to hold it indeed. We were on board with Tolborg as we got that. Went through, and Tolborg goes round the outside of Solberg. That's uncompromising there. I'm not sure whether there'd be a complaint about that, because Tolborg didn't exactly give the place back to Solberg completely after that little tap, so might see a little bit of penalty there, but I think it will be classed as a racing incident overall, because Solberg was quite erratic.
Like in real life Formula 1, for example, you see the rule, if you concede a position, you have to wait at least one corner to attack again.
Of course, we saw that with Lewis Hamilton at Spa in 2009, of course.
Exactly.
Wide has gone Solberg, so he's really lost his rhythm now, and in behind him is Eric Nelson. But that battle has settled down for now. Tolborg is now pursuing the back of Barrick once again. Fourth position is Miguel Neto. Check back on Francisco Villar. He is there. There he is in 11th position now. So since we spoke about him, I think maybe that was due to a pit stop. But everybody is pitted so far. So we have Swiderski in a commanding lead from Brabham. Swiderski's really turned it on in his second race, hasn't he, Bjorn?
Exactly. Great performance. You think he's going to win it? I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, he has a good lead, doesn't he? I mean, if he doesn't make any mistakes, it doesn't look like Braham's going to have the speed to be able to catch back up to him.
No, he's pulling away. I mean, like you mentioned, the gap was 1.4. It's like 1.7, 1.8 now. So actually, Darius is pulling away. I think Yuri is just settling for a second place and thinking, well, good points, you know. You need the points, so.
Well, if I was him, I would push a lot harder, because he's a little bit behind in the championship, but of course second place is better than spinning off and back down in the top 10, of course, as VR is finding at the moment. Of course, he had when he was trying to pass Nelson, didn't think there was Tolborg sets the fastest lap, so he means business in behind Barrick. He is now, and just attempted behind Barrick once again. Good speed that Jesper has today. Whenever he's behind Barrick, he just seems to catch straight back up to him again. Look, there it is. And Tolborg was almost a second behind, I think, before the start of that lap, and just suddenly ranges right on the back of Keith once again. So he is showing his class. Drive cars might be outclassed at this track, for this particular event, but nobody seems to have told Tolborg. And he's going to make a move up the inside here. I think this is the move for 5th position. Oh, no, it's not. He's decided not to make a move. Not like Solberg made a very aggressive, assertive move earlier. It was a great pass, to be fair. It was a dangerous one. Eventually Solberg lost out in those little exchanges with Barrick and Jesper.
I think he's just going to wait for the right moment again. Put pressure on Keith. Keith has to make a small error again, and then Jesper is going to pass him again, probably, something like that.
And that will be the plan, I think. Tolborg, who hails from Denmark. Carry on.
Speed there. Yeah, good exit speed there for Jesper. Unbelievable. Look, he's just on the tail of Keith.
Look at that, right up the gearboxes, I suppose you would say. In it, probably one, even though the gearbox is not in the rear of these cars, but he's under the boot lid of Barrick. Barrick certainly knows that he is there. He's not letting Barrick relax for 1 second at all. Now down towards Tower once again. Down the straight towards hairpin. See, they're catching also as well, Nigel and NATO, but still 2 seconds behind them. 1.5 laps to go in this race. Zadorsky now has a 2-second lead over Yuri Braham, so he looks like he's got this race wrapped up. But he's not lapping particularly quickly. I wonder if Braham is having a few problems. Zadorsky's only in the 14s. Jesper and Barrick are in the 13s.
I think they're just consolidating. I think they're happy with first and second, and I think that's about it. I think, like I just mentioned, Yuri's just easing off and taking a certain second position, rather than spinning off.
We are now looking back on board from Barrick to Tarborg. Through onto the exit of Le Mans, onto the Ulman straight once again, but Tarborg is looking to make his move once again, down towards Sunset Bend. Right up in behind the back of Barrett, that gives him a little nudge. Knows he's not going to have enough pace to get past though. Strip trim is not quite enough, and Barrick goes slightly deep. Tarborg's got an excellent line, the back of the car wagging as he comes through onto the start-finish straight. Right up in behind Barrick once again, pushing him along. I wonder if they want to catch 8 up before the end of the race. They're not trying to slow Barrick up, it seems. Of course, if Tarborg beats Barrick once again in this race, then game on in the championship. VR is losing valuable ground overall. VR is back there in 10th position. He's in a battle with Reggie Blaine. Here we are on board with Reggie Blaine, looking back at VR. Long before VR decides to get through. Up front we can see there is a battle between Nelson and Solborg, joined at the hip for a lot of the race as well. Get over the chicane. Behind is Vincent Khan, 11th place. Pointed with his showing so far at this race. Say that his hopes of retaining his championship are dwindling by each event. Have the raw pace of the front runners in qualifying or in the race. We are now with Tarborg right in behind Barrick, going down into turn 15. Now we're going into Le Mans. These two are catching NATO hand over fist. Tarborg is certainly not trying to slow Barrick up. He seems to be pushing Barrick towards NATO. Perhaps Tarborg feels that he can pass Barrick whenever he wants to, but he's going to see if he can push Barrick towards NATO and maybe perhaps take even more place. Look at that, he's pushing the car towards NATO. I'm sure he's doing that.
Yeah.
Very clever driver is Tarborg. I'm sure that is what he's doing. But we're on to the last lap now. I'm not sure they're going to have enough time to catch up to NATO. The gap between NATO and Barrick is going to be, when we cross the line, going to be less than a second though.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I think Migon Nieto is pretty safe. It's going to be between Keith and Jesper.
0.9 of a second. They've taken a second out of him on that last lap. Sorry, 0.7 of a second on that last lap. So it could be game on, you know. What is Tarborg going to do? I think he's running out of time. They're on the last lap now, and the race is still being led by Swiderski. He has been serene at the front of this field. He got passed early on by Braham, but he took the lead again on lap 3, was it, Bjorn? Or maybe lap 2, down towards the hairpin.
Lap 2 it was, yeah.
Lap 2 was Swiderski retook the lead from the Flying Dutchman racing car of Yuri Braham. Not looked back since. Had an excellent pit stop, nice and clean. from Braham has held ever since. Nice solid run here from Swiderski. This will be his first win of the season so far. Side looks Tarborg on the back of Barrick. This is the battle to watch at the moment once again between these two. Fierce rivals and championship protagonists. Braham will be happy to see Barrick and Tarborg back in 5th and 6th, and we've lost Skurlock from the game. And what happened to him? Said a disconnection, or perhaps he had an accident which saw him drop out of the race. Boucher has not moved up through the field whatsoever in this race. He's 19th place, so he's had a torrid time of it, this event. That's a bring. He will not look back on at this event with fond memories whatsoever, Bjorn.
No, I mean, off the pace and Vincent Gunn as well. I mean, I suspected him way more up front, to be honest.
Yeah, but over the line is going to come Darius Swiderski. Here he is. He's going to cross the line in his TrackDevil.com racing car. That's the first win of the season for those guys. They've had one pole with Reese, but now they're going to win with Darius Swiderski. Crosses the line, flashes his lights. In 2nd place, Yuri Braham. 3rd is going to go to Bogdan. That's an excellent result for him. First podium of the season so far. 4th, NATO. 5th, Barrick. 6th, Tarborg. Barrick held off the attentions of Tarborg this time around. In 7th place, across the line, is Solberg. That's an excellent result for him. 8th is Nelson, once again, 2 extra places for him. VR finishes 9th, he got past Blaine in the end. Blaine 10th, 11th is Khan. 12th position is going to be Diogo Lopez. He's crossed the line in 13th place, there comes Paul Wood. 14th position, Abdul Ahmed, he'll be pleased with that, he's had 2 solid runs so far. 15th place, Dan Asbury. After being at the front of the field, he'll be hoping for more than that, but he recovered fairly well from dropping back to 23rd. 16th, Robert Isles. 17th, Werner. 18th, Consalves. 19th, Saul Boucher. That's a disastrous event for him. 20th, Reese Gardner. First, Paolo Ignacio. 22nd, Matthias Klein. He's crossed the line there. He's had a poor event as well. 23rd, still coming around the track, is going to be Daniel Wood. His car looks pretty battered, Bjorn. Look at that.
Yeah, the back is totally gone. I mean, it's...
The back is totally gone. It looks like he's been involved with a few incidents. Pedro Amaral, Pedro Amaral, 24th. He's going to finish as well, I think. There he is. His car looks battered as well. Look at the wheels sticking out from the wheel arches. 25th was Tyler Skurlock, but he left the game. I'm not sure what happened to him. It was a disconnection, or he had an accident and decided to leave before the end of the race. But we'll get a couple of the drivers in here, Bjorn. What do you think of the action?
Once again, great race, great action. I mean, those fights were incredible, especially the Jesper and Keith fight. All fair, all square, and really good. How you enjoyed it as well?
Absolutely, but my voice is knackered now.
Same here. I can use a cup of tea. Eh?
Oh, that was pretty hectic stuff. I found myself really lagging towards the end of that race, really flagging in my voice getting quite sore. And there's a few guys. We have a few guys who are going to join us for this driver interview. Quite a lot of guys, to be fair. Look at this. Right. First of all, we'll start off with race 1 winner Francisco Villa. Congratulations for your race 1 win.
Hey Ryan, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We'll start with race 2 first of all, however. That was a bit more interesting from the viewer's point of view.
Yes.
You're passing Eric Nelson into the hairpin, and we weren't sure if there was any contact at all, but if there was definitely accidental. I mean, what happened there?
No, I think there was no contact at all. I just lost the rear of the car because I think I downshifted too early. Second, and the rear of the car just went and I couldn't control it. Race 2 was actually a mess. I think I hit Danny Asbury. I'm sorry for that. Sorry, Danny. Okay, that's the worst result till now. So let's try to keep up with good results now until the end.
Yeah, that's at least you got the drop score. But in the first race, you set an excellent pole position as well. Congratulations for that. And also in the first race, you took a very dominant win. I mean, pretty much held off the attentions of Danny Asbury in that one.
Yeah, first race was, I mean, it was perfect. I think I did the fastest lap, pole position, and race win. What could I expect more? In the beginning, Danny was really fast. He was coming up with me in the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 laps. But then he lost a little bit of the pace after the pit stops, and so I was just controlling the race till the end.
Yeah, so congratulations to you, VR. That's obviously the first race improves your championship position. Of course, the second race not quite so good, but if there is drop scores, so it's not affected you too much.
Yeah, that's.
We'll come to sorry, VR. Well done to you. We'll come to Danny, the other BMW driver who was very fast today as well. Of the 3, a second place in the first race. That was a very strong result for you, but you couldn't quite keep up with VR, it seemed.
Yeah, you know, early in the race, I was just trying to hang on to the back of him, but I wound up driving my tires off and stop. I had nothing for him.
Yeah, it's very easy to do, just to drive a bit too hard. But in the second race, we saw you. Well, we didn't see what the incident was, but we saw you shoot through the TV camera at the time. I mean, yeah, as VR, just apologise for contact there. I mean, what happened?
Yeah, I was making sure not to really run into Keith. He was running right ahead of me, and I just checked up on the brakes a little early, and Francisco got into me. But really, the second race came down to a pass early on. I tried to make on, I think, Eric Nelson or Jasper Tolberg. I just didn't pull it off, and after that, just slid down the field. Yeah,
we saw that. I think you went up the inside of somebody and ran wide, and then everyone decided to mug you on the way down into into turn 3. So that was a bit unfortunate there for you.
Yeah, and after that, it was pretty much a lonely race in the back after that one.
Well, you did well to pull yourself back from 23rd position. I think you dropped back to, and you pulled your way back up to 16th. That wasn't too bad.
Not too bad, but not what I was looking for.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, second place in the first race, you were hoping for another strong result, but unlucky. But congratulations on the first race. Our race 2 winner now will come to Mr. Swiderski.
Yes, hello, everyone.
It's nice to see you return to a bit of form after some disappointing results in the previous races.
Yes, I'm very inconsistent, am I? Yeah, this track suits BMW, so I knew I'd be strong on this. So yeah, it was good race. Both races.
I mean, you didn't quite seem to translate your speed into a great result in the first race. I mean, only 6th place, but of course in the second race you retook Yuri on lap 2, and you didn't look back at all.
Yes. Well, I have to make a confession. That was lack of practice. I did not practice at all. Well, I did 10 laps offline yesterday, and I thought I'm ready, but yes, I wasn't.
Yeah, never ready in this company. Really, you need to work very hard indeed. We'll come to Karen Madaru, Andrei Bogdan, who had his first podium of the season. An excellent result there for you, Karen Madaru, and an excellent pit stop as well. You went from 5th to 3rd in the pit. So, I mean, how did you do that?
First of all, hello everybody. I did a lot of practice, pit stopping, lap after lap, race pace, and our first race I was expecting for a better result, but got bumped a few times, race incident, and got to the back. Very bad pit stop in first race, but in second race I passed a few guys. I passed you, Danny, when we went wide. First I passed inside, and I kept up the pace. I was expecting Kit to hunt me, but he couldn't. So awesome pit stop. So I really, in the final stage, I really tried to catch Yuri, but that wasn't so good. But third place, I'm really excited, especially in this field.
Yeah, an excellent result as well, especially with the front-wheel drive car, which wasn't at its greatest form here in the Honda. Another Honda driver was Mr. Yuri Braham, who came good in the second race with a second place position. He didn't quite have enough pace to challenge for the win, Yuri.
Well, I'm really excited because I didn't expect to get the second place. First of all, before the days of practice, you saw the other drivers going so much faster. I was like, whoa, I'm really off the pace, and just hope to finish in the top 10. And in the first race, well, Mr. C was in front of me, and I have to say, a really good job from Mr. C, Kamidari, Andrew Bogdan. fast pace. He beat me in qualify. He was in front of me, but I had a very good start. I thought you noticed that I took 2 spots, if I'm right.
You did. We were
Yeah,
on board with you actually at the start. We couldn't get a good camera angle, so we went on board with you, and you went straight through the whole field. That was nice to see. We got a good view of that. Very well
okay
done to
then. Yeah, but after the pit stops, let's say the moment of the pit stop, I was like, okay, now I have to brake, and I brake, and there's my spot. Oh, I missed it. Reverse before I even stood still.
We saw that as well, by the way.
Well, and yeah,
we caught all of your stuff.
After that, it was Darius that was hunting me, and I had a nice battle with him. The BMWs are such fast on this track. It's absolutely not normal, but it was fun. It was a challenge. And the second race, well, I took another setup with shorter gearings, and it was good in the first stint. It was really fast, and then in the second stint, it was like, yeah, I just needed the gears slightly longer. It's what I say. Yeah. Never switch a winning setup.
Yeah, that's true. We'll come to Mr. Barrick. You didn't get on the podium in any of these races, Keith, which means you shouldn't be in this press conference. But seeing as you are,
Jesper gave me his spot. He told me I could have it because of what went on in the first race.
In the first, right? Okay. We had we pretty much followed you throughout the you and Torborg throughout the entire second half of race 1 and race 2. It was excellent to watch. You were nose to tail most of the time. We didn't have much choice really. In the first race, of course, Jesper ended up just talking you and taking position. And in the final corner, Bjorn saw what happened. But if you could just describe to us what happened in the final corner of race 1.
Well, it was clean battling with Jesper as always. I was about 3/10 back coming onto the back straight, and that's the perfect spot to get enough of a draft to make a late braking motion into the last corner. Took the draft, went inside. Now it's a questionable whether it was enough overlap or if it wasn't. I did give the spot back to Jesper. There was a little bit of contact and it pushed him wide. If it was anyone else other than Jesper, just because of the battling we've had over the history racing at RD, I probably would have carried on. But because it was such a clean battle heading up to that, I just felt I couldn't take the position with that kind of contact. So it just felt right to let off and allow him by to take his rightful spot.
Okay, and then in the second race, an almighty battle in the first few laps. Especially with Emil Solberg and Jesper and Francisco Villar and Eric. That was pretty insane. I mean, Solberg made a very excellent. That's a crap word to say. An excellent move up the inside, very aggressive, very assertive at the hairpin when you passed him earlier. So, I mean, what were your views on that battle? That was pretty special to watch.
It was, it was exactly what you'd expect out of touring cars. There's paint being traded. People taking chances, and as the season gets on, people will start taking a little more chances. And if you're sitting there after all the way the season's gone, and you're looking at a top 5 finish, you're gonna fight tooth and nail. You're not going out lightly. You're gonna keep fighting, and that's exactly what I expected. And luckily we all finished cleanly, and it was good battling. Hopefully it was good for the viewers, but to finish this event with 2 top 5s, exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, but it certainly helps your position. But Torborg will stay there with you. Yuri obviously had a good result in race 2, and Francisco in race 1. So the championship will be ever tighter. Congratulations to Francisco Villar for his race 1 win and his pole position, and congratulations to Darius Widerski for his race 2 win.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll speak to you later.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Bjorn.
You're welcome. All my pleasure.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Well, Bjorn, there's the end of another exciting event in the American Touring Car Championship. I mean, after listening to the views of the drivers there, what did you make of that?
What I made of of the interviews, that I think all the drivers had a lot to say, and that is also what the viewers saw. A lot of action-packed racing, a lot of incidents, a lot of fights going on, and yeah, something that the drivers acknowledged as well in their interviews.
Absolutely, there was no harsh words at all either. As well, even in the incidents where VR touched the back of Asbury, he may of course be in trouble with that, because it obviously will be against the rules. But of course, it was accidental. So, see what happens there.
Yeah, especially.
So that's another excellent event, and we are back in 2 weeks' time. This time we will be at Rattlesnake Point, which is a fictional track, of course, but it's again very, very fast. So we will see the BMWs reign supreme once again. So that'll be interesting to see how the drive cars of Braham, Barrick, and Torborg cope with the speed of the BMWs. So join us in 2 weeks' time. I've been Ryan Cullen. You've been Bjorn de Haas. Thank you very much, Bjorn.
Oh, my pleasure. Lovely to work with you again, and we see all the viewers for the next races.
Yeah, Bjorn will be back. We'll be back at the next event in 2 weeks' time. It's at the same time, 2 GMT or 9 PM Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be at Rattlesnake Point. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll catch you then. Thanks very much, guys, and good night.
Good night.